All right, I will go ahead and call the special Cedar Springs Construction Board of Appeals meeting for Wednesday, December 18th at 4 p.m. to order at 4 p.m. If you would please rise and recite the pledge. I pledge allegiance.
Flag, United States of America. Republic, which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Come to you. There he is. He's here.
Come on in, Dale. Got a spot for you right down here.
Down here, they got your name out front and everything.
How you doing?
Good.
Sign my plate.
No, we just got to the Allegiant.
All right, so it's been a few years since this board has met, so we have some oaths of office to issue because you guys all have been reappointed at that sometime between that last meeting and this one. So if you guys all don't mind raising your right hand and standing for me, I'll issue all of you guys at the same time. All right. I, Aaron Kindle, I, Dwayne Mike McIntyre, and I, Dale Larson, do solemnly swear or affirm that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of Michigan, the City Charter and Code of Ordinances of the City of Cedar Springs, and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of Construction Board of Appeals Board Member to the best of my abilities. Got one for you guys all to sign. Oh, you got yours there, Dale. All right. So the next item of business is to nominate a chairperson to serve for your meeting. So at this time, I would open the floor for nominations for chairperson.
Nominate Dwayne McIntyre.
Second that. I.
Mr. McIntyre, do you accept the nomination?
Yes, sure.
Are there any other nominations? Hearing none. I'll go ahead and do a roll call vote for Mr. McIntyre for chairperson. Is there any discussion before I get going? All right, I'll go ahead and call that roll call. Mr. Larson,
Yes.
Mr. Kindle, and Mr. McIntyre.
Yes.
Congratulations. And now I'll have to issue your chairperson oath to you. Sure. I, Dwayne McIntyre, there you got it. I, Dwayne McIntyre, do solemnly swear or affirm that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of Michigan, the City Charter and Code of Ordinances of the City of Cedar Springs, and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of Construction Board of Appeals Chairperson to the best of my abilities.
Do.
More signature.
Pen again.
Oh, yeah. Perfect. I'll go ahead and I'll turn the meeting over to you, Mr. McIntyre.
Side. So I guess I can go ahead and start with roll call. Yeah, yes. All right, we'll do roll call. Dale,
Here.
Aaron,
Here.
Dwayne, here. All right, we're gonna open it up for public comment. And nobody's here. All right. So now we'll go to recognize city officials. We have Mike and Deb, I guess are the two that are important today. Is that what we have to recognize, that they are here? The applicant is Tony, right? And your legal,
Yeah, good afternoon, guys. Jake Lombardo.
Bardo?
I have a law practice in Rockford.
All right. Motion to approve the minutes from the special meeting on December 4th, 2019. Motion to approve.
Or
All right, I guess we can vote on that. Those all that approve, say yes.
Yes.
Yes. Are passed and on to new business. 3385 Jeanette Way. So public notice. So we open up to public notice again. Nobody here. We'll close it. So we have notice of applicant. So I guess this is your chance to state your case.
Yeah, again, gentlemen, good afternoon. I'm not going to say much today. I just wanted to reintroduce myself again. It's Jake Lombardo. This is Anthony Frigo. He's the owner of an LLC called Northland Acres MHC LLC, which for our purposes here today owns the mobile home park in question. We have a number of pictures and videos and reports that we all have available both in hard copy and on the screen. We're going to do our best to kind of move through those as seamlessly as possible, but bear with us if we have some technical difficulties. I certainly hope not. So with that, I'm going to turn the floor over to Mr. Frigo here, and I think, going to operate the computer. I can't set a panel. Is that okay? Yeah.
I'm just going to go through the list. So I'm going to start with one that says front door not sealed to protect the outside. The door opens, shuts, locks properly. Any of the damage was caused by the people that were living there. I do want to say that they were squatters in the home. They moved in when they were not supposed to be in the home. It's been a long, terrible process with them. We gave multiple 24-hour notices to be in the home and with refusals to let us in. Even 2 times we called the police to try to get into the home, and with no avail with that either. So first video is just to show that the door does open and close and locks. Damage to the bottom was actually would be the weather stripping, and that was they would tie the leash to the front porch, and then they would bring the dog in with the leash and then close the door on the leash. So it's just weather stripping. So we'll move to number 2, the electrical system in disrepair and fire hazard. From July to November, 2 electricians have been to the home, neither stating anything of concern. The first electrician was at the home on July 24th due to a GFCI outlet smoking. He replaced it and stated the wiring was okay, and any issue was due to overloading by the people in the home. I also gave them notice to what they need to do to stop doing that with their AC units that he suggested. And then the second electrician was out at the home on November 18th and stated after a thorough diagnostic of the electrical system, the only issue was a weak outside breaker due to the residents overloading the system. As well, with an inspection that was done by IMS back in November, it was never stated anything was wrong with the electrical system, that only some of the outlets were not secured. A ceiling light was not installed in a designated spot, and that the water heater wire was not terminated properly. All of this was taken care of, and Lance from IMS was shown the photos of the wire and said that was correct, as long as the electrician on the 18th. Number 3, soft floor. That would be, you could see in there, the first one that you see service professor, that would be who came out on the initial time in July. Next one is Whitney Services. And I chose to use contractors I've never used before. So not to have any bias on anything. So I've never actually dealt with them before. So number 3. Okay. So the electrician that came out, you can see from Whitney stated, after a thorough diagnostic of the electrical system, the only issue was a weak outside breaker due to the residents overloading the system. And then he also installed the new GFCI just out of precaution with that. That's the only thing after everything that he found in the home. No code violations of any sort. Number 3, soft floor and structural deterioration. I had a contractor from Professional Home Improvement inspect the entire home inside and out and only indicated one small spot on the floor located between the hallway and the secondary bathroom. As well, in the April inspection from IMS, they only stated loose floor coverings, a missing transitional piece, but not soft floors or no structural issues whatsoever. So we have I actually have a video of someone stomping on the floors throughout the entire house. The next video will actually show me stomping by the front door where we thought it might have been a little off. Right here's me. That was me stomping. And it's um, so clearly that's all we were able to find for soft floors. And also the contractor from Professional Home Improvement, when he was out, if you could see that, he documented what he found, and it was only a very small spot in front of the hallway and bathroom, just that we stomped and kind of saw. Nothing major. We're not even sure if it's actually really soft or not, if it's just the transition between the wood and the vinyl of it. But if in question. Like I stated, even IMS, when they did their inspection in April, they didn't even cite one soft floor anywhere in the home or any structural issues. The next one, 4, was counters and cabinets falling apart. The cabinets are solid. You can kind of see, I don't like to talk about people, how they have their house, but this is how they're out, but they were not the easiest on a home and how they had a lot of stuff, but this is, the counters and cabinets are all solid. There's a video too that will show, inside. Not saying aesthetically the best, but number 5, deteriorated mechanical room and water heater wiring. The deterioration was from the past. It is, it's not ongoing. It was not even going on in April when they did the inspection with IMS. Pictures will show, this is from April 9th. You can see on the left side, the deterioration on the bottom left. That's from April 9th. And then the next photos show you, that is from November 19th. So 7 months later, no change in any of it whatsoever. So there was nothing ongoing. It was just it was there, but it not continued on. There should be a video too of me showing just that there's a video. And then the water heater wire stated in the IMS report in April was resolved and pictures shown to Lance from IMS, who told us that was fine. And then the electrician on 11/18 found nothing wrong with the hot water heater wire as well. The number 6 was the improperly sealed sliding door. The sliding door operates as it should. The video will show that it's sealed properly and there's zero indication of any leak. It shows opening and shutting and locking like it should. Number 7 was the shower wall and drain line deficiencies. The plumber addressed the drain, and there's no indication of leaks, damages from around the shower walls of any kind. There's 2 videos just showing the showers running. I will say, just so they painted the house when they were not supposed to. So when you see this atrocious painting, that is not from us. So they were painting, taking trim off, doing a bunch of stuff. So you'll see in other photos some interesting colors too, I'd like to say. Yes, please. So again, like I said, there was no indication anywhere of any water damage from anything with that, so. Moving on, then, number 8, ceiling shows water damage. There are absolutely no leaks in the house. IMS reported in April, Lance actually stated, his exact words are, "At the time of the inspection, I cannot say the roof is leaking," because it's not. There has been a total of 22 inches of precipitation from April through November with 0 leaks. Do you have a video showing all the ceilings of the house? This is one spot that previously you could saw some more that we painted, but you'll see it's solid as could be.
It's definitely a water stain.
There, yeah.
Yeah, that was an old one, but I'm showing that it's solid. It's not, it's above the cabinet. It's like this much room between, as you can see. sorry, I don't know why it video the, like, sideways like that, so why it came up like that, but you could see that, I mean, that's all the ceilings of the home that they are all in fine shape. And then number 9, inadequate heating. I had a HVAC contractor inspect the furnace and he stated it would pass an inspection. That you would see that in your package too. Would be, furnace started up, runs normally with 0 ppm of CO2, furnace will pass an inspection. I do also have some, pictures of us taking of the temperature inside the house. There's one. And you can see the lady there at 9:30 in the morning in just a short sleeve t-shirt. So it's plenty warm. And then just a few other rooms. At that time at 9:30 in the morning, on November 20th, temperatures were 39 degrees outside at the time. Number 10, exterior disrepair and missing skirting. Siding that was noted in the IMS report in April was fixed and skirting was replaced. That was the spot that we were told about. Next photo would show that, maybe not the next one. Yep, and you can see it was done on April 10th. And that's a skirting that was missing that we knew about and we fixed and replaced and other stuff, but they have their dog outside and things happen with skirting at times. So I don't have much, you know. The next one is 11, underside rust, missing insulation vapor barrier. I was not made aware of this until December 9th from the letter that I received from the city. It was not stated in the report in April from IMS. Anything with it, and I mean, rust underneath the metal frame, that's gonna be any home, but anything about it. It was never brought to my attention till December 9th. And then number 12, unprinted roof work and lack of insulation. I had a conversation with IMS back and they told me that we're allowed to do shingles and replace a couple boards, but no structural work, which that's all we did was that, no structural work. And the pictures will show that the home holds heat as it was snowing, and you could see there's no huge icicles or anything like that. There's snow on the roof. I do have another video of me just walking through the entire house because it's hard to see with most of their stuff was out with this video that I have, and just me just hitting the walls. I'm not the lightest of guys. You can hear me stomping my feet everywhere. That should be under. Right under file 3 or folder 3.
This is 3.
Yeah, there's the other video on there. Is there a third video? Is there a third one on there? The third one.
Oh, here we go.
Sorry for the.
It's currently empty now.
As of, end of, or sort of end of November.
It's been vacant since then.
This is my first day in the home when I did this.
Gonna do on the tape on the floors, on those ends?
The flooring will be replaced. If I can show what it was basically you're walking like this through the house with them. Yeah, no, that gets ripped out. Speed up. I actually stomp really good on the floors in the bathrooms. If you really want to see, I don't know if you want to see everything. I don't want to use up all your time.
I know I've seen enough.
I've seen enough. I mean,
I do stomp the floors in the bathrooms if you want to see that they're all solid. If you, okay, yeah, I didn't want to. So, so the home needs aesthetic work. Like I said, we did zero of that painting. I would never paint those colors, whatsoever. They did that, removed all the trim. You could see in the one photo, all the trim that they removed that was on the back deck. But the structure of the home is sound. 4 licensed contractors in the respected field of electrical, HVAC, plumbing, and building were in that house for a total of 7 hours. And each one, after their thorough inspection, found no deterioration, no leaks, and all the systems up to code. And you have those reports there with it. So, and video shows it. So, any questions for me?
Got quite a few.
Okay.
So this is a rental.
Yes.
So before you rent it again, I assume Mike and Deb would be going through this to make sure everything's up to snuff, because what I saw was doors missing, your paint. I mean, I know it's not your paint.
They removed the doors too, because they were painting and doing all yes.
Move into it yourself when it's done. Done nicely, say all new flooring.
Prior to them, it was a lady that still rents from me, but in a smaller place, was on Section 8 and lived there for 3 or 4 years. And so they have a yearly inspection. But like it,
Section, right?
No, it
No.
depends on the registration. If it passes, they can get a 5-year without us being back there. Could be a 3-year, could be a 1-year.
yeah, I'm not saying aesthetics, like I said, I mean, and
Sure, your aesthetics and my aesthetics.
Last house I did, I have
It's,
photos on my phone. You'd like to see it.
Does our qualifications, of who we, what we do. So I guess I need to back up. Is that okay, Rebecca?
guess we'll start with Aaron. I'm an electrician. I'm in and out of, tons of new places, old places. I know a variety, a lot of stuff. Why I'm here. I mean,
I'm a builder. I've been a builder for 50 years, licensed for 47 years, owned rentals for 20 some years here in town. And my quick basics. Dale?
I'm a mechanical contractor, plumbing, heating. I've been in business for 40-something years and completed over $400 million worth of mechanical work.
We got a little experience here. So I just wanted to get that cleared up, but what I see is a lot of your aesthetics and your renters, and I've had renters and I had good contracts, and I hope you have good contracts. I would have never put up with any of that crap. I drove through your park today, and that's the downside, Tony. When somebody puts a flag up, now they start looking for more. And I saw a lot of stuff, And do you live there or?
Right.
When I was also a retired college professor, but when I was teaching, I started teaching about having pride. You know, and I hope you have pride in what you have there. And I seen trash everywhere. I seen disabled vehicles. I saw doors laying out on the ground.
We were going around cleaning up today, so we were pulling stuff out, just so you know.
I don't want to get off track of this, but I'm just saying, so to make this livable in my eyes, to me, you would live in it. Anybody in here would want to live in it. And what I saw there,
Wouldn't.
I wouldn't live in that thing for nothing.
Can I show you the last house we did?
Sure. Take a look at it.
Up to you, but it should.
And it is.
But he's just wanting to show us this type of.
Yeah. Yeah, I just curious. I just,
This way. So, yeah, you can see November 27th.
see,
And that,
I just, and if that's what you call livable, I'm good with that.
yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
And if that's what you're gonna do to make that look like
Oh,
that,
no, that's what, I use the same material.
but we need verification when it's done. But,
Yeah, I don't know procedures, what that is. Can't sit to say.
Can't you go ahead and complete this work and then ask for a reinspection or?
Or how's that work?
Yeah, I don't know how it worked for sure.
He would be able to do that. We have to get through this process and we could give him a modicum amount of time to do that. It's interesting that this, for me, I'm the code enforcer here. My name's Deborah DeGroot. For me, this started as a complaint. It actually came into the city manager on February 28, 2024. And I had gone through it. I did just a basic visual, sent Mr. Frigo, here's what I see. Not a licensed contractor, here's what I see. And nothing was done. We sent in IMS several months later, I believe in April. He went in as a rental inspector only, not as a building inspector. He had generated his report, which you have in front of you. Very little was done off of that. Subsequently, we waited for a few months because we were changing from IMS to PCI and they have the professional building inspector. And that's when all of this happened. So I guess my question would have been, why wasn't anything done?
It's a good question, Deb.
Well,
Why'd it take so long?
They would not let us in. Like I said, we have had to call the police and on 2 occasions and police says, hey, we can't allow you guys in even with a proper 24-hour notice. We've had a conversation and they said they would let us be. I don't know when it was in June, maybe and yes.
So if you were having issues with these tenants, why didn't you file at 63rd District Court? I would have filed immediately.
Okay, so we were doing it a different way. I was giving three no, it's unfortunate things change. So with advice from Jake, my lawyer, we were giving them once a month for 3 months, 7-day notice, and then a 30-day notice after that. So that would give us just cause. So in a mobile home park, you have to give also a 30-day notice. We could do the fighting part with not paying rent and everything else, but we felt the best approach would be to give 3 non-payments. So if you give 3 non-payments in a 12-month period, it's a just cause in a mobile home park. So that's what we were in the middle of doing when all this happened. So so each month they were getting it, and then they got a 30-day notice in October, in end of October or something like that. I can't remember the exact date now.
And the reason finding you.
Yeah.
The reason we did it that way is we've received adverse rulings from 63rd Court District judges who said can't evict somebody out of a mobile home park on a 30-day notice, period. And so we actually tried to proceed that way and just say, hey, get out, you don't have a lease. And we've had the judges say no. And I don't go into that. I think they're wrong, personally, all with all due respect, but that's kind of what we're looking at. And we have a changing of the guard with new judges coming in. So that is why we proceeded with this, which it would be a fail-safe way to do it. Problem is, it takes 4 months. You have to have 3 months of non-payment and then 30 more days, and then you can proceed. So that's why it was taken. We were going to evict them. We were in the process, and Tony did send them those, successive, non-payment notices to both of them. So that's.
And they did let the city know this. They did know this. We had a meeting and they knew this.
Have anything else, Deb? And then,
With Mr. Friegel, that these people were squatters.
look good.
I appreciate that.
I actually sent him a really lengthy email that was not prompted by my city manager. That was from me. I really realized when I saw what was happening during the investigation of the complaint, that this was them trying to stick it to Mr. Friegel. I got no response. So I can't do anything with that but to proceed with a complaint. I don't handle the lease. I urged these people from the beginning. I said, this is not going to end for you well. You need to find another place, over and over and over again.
Trying to take advantage of the situation.
And then, towards the very end, just before we hit the condemnation order, I was alerted, I'm also the code enforcer in the village of Sparta. I was alerted by, the authorities there, they had done the same thing to some.
They know the system, they just.
Exactly.
They're playing the system.
I was very willing to work with Mr. Frigo to, because they were taking advantage of him.
Okay. Well, then let's listen to Mike on what he's got.
Well, when I was there and walked through the place,
What date was that? The tenants were still there?
over there, they invited us in,
It's,
the 17th of October. So when I walked through there, the pictures you got are what I seen. The door, you can obviously see the whole threshold is missing off the bottom of it. There's been work done to this since I was there. The floor seemed soft to me. When you walked into the bathroom, you could see straight through the drain to the ground. The whole underside of the trailer was saturated with water. See in the pictures I took up underneath there, I didn't crawl under there because it was so saturated with water. The vapor barrier and insulation's hanging down. The heat ducts are below that. They're rusted out. They're not wrapped in any insulation. My concern is it was all deteriorating from the bottom side because of the moisture under the home. That was in the one bathroom, where outside you could see the ceilings had been repaired. It had been leaking. There was drywall. And you can see the stains in there. The other shower, the walls are held on, the shower walls themselves are held on with duct tape. And they were falling off. So there was obviously water getting behind them for a period, just like where the hot water heater was. You could see straight through the ground in that room too. And there was black mold on the wall. I mean, it was deteriorating. Squatters told us that the roof had been ripped off the back. Said they had pictures. Off and replaced the sheathing and the inflation back of there is what I. Look at the cabinets, the edge band is missing, falling off. I mean, back in there did some work, I don't. Help that.
We did not do any work.
Well, some of that stuff you can see.
We did not do any.
Somebody did, because.
I do it then before they left?
They might have done stuff. They were trying to paint stuff. They were doing, as squatters is weird. We did not do, the only thing I did was to show that it's not doing anything, was paint inside the water heater area. We did not, and then the plumber fixed the drain. That, I mean, he said, he showed it, that he did, you know, he did that, but we did not do anything.
The picture showed cabinet doors all over the place.
That was
and-
them. They took them off. They were, like, you could see one was a different color. Like, I think they were trying to paint it a different color as well. Too. I don't know if you've noticed, the one was like an aqua color.
The slider would not latch. It was in an angle and you can see it in the picture, has a gap in it. Now it works. 'cause
We did not touch the slider. No one adjusted anything. I 100% promise you, I was the first one to open it. No one ever looked at the slider. That was the first time. I didn't know even that the slider was on the list until 12/9, and I didn't get into the house, because that's when I got the list. I didn't get the list until December 9th. That list that we went through, December 9th is when I got that list.
Point of clarification, generally we would offer Mr. Ford to make his report, and if you wanted to offer any additional comments from the applicant.
Let's let Mike do his thing. Thank you.
So like I said, my concern with floor being deteriorated was when I was walking on the floor. I'm not a small guy. The floor felt spongy to me. Oh, no, when I looked underneath it, seen the insulation down and could see all the water under the mobile home. That led me to believe that there's deterioration happening from the underside of it. So as far as the hot water heater goes, I talked to our electrical inspector, he told me that wire needs to be in conduit.
Right, protective raceway. Right.
Yes. So, and like I say, you can see through the floor in there, maybe the damage in there was before they fixed the roof. You know, I could see spots where the roof had leaked. Now, was it leaking at that time? I couldn't verify that because it wasn't raining when I was there.
Right.
And the heat to the back part of the mobile home, you couldn't feel no heat coming out of there. So I don't know if you had a mechanical contractor there, if he did something and took care of that, I don't know. The trim was loose on the ceilings in there, you can see where the water damage.
Yeah.
Not to get off track here, but the purpose of Construction Board of Appeals is really to determine if I was interpreting the code correctly.
So in a mobile home with heat, resistance is where it goes to. So if you're, and I live in one, so I know. So if your furnace is on the far right, earliest ones is where it comes out the most, and the farther you get from the home, the less, unless you, like what we do in my own house, so like my son's room and stuff is closest to the furnace, and so is a bathroom, we actually put like hard like metal down.
So it pushes it somewhere
So it
else.
pushes it. And so that's just the nature of that. I mean, I'd like to see all the ceiling spots. I mean, we did not, besides what I said I painted, we didn't touch the ceilings. That was how it's been.
Some water damage there. There's water stains there in the kitchen.
Well, I'm not saying there wasn't a spot, but that was old and you could feel it. I mean, that's not ongoing.
There's been water damage there and you can
At
see
some point in time, there was.
Well, I'm not denying, but that was well before April even.
in the pictures that I provided, you can see all the holes in the skirting and the skirting missing. Siding missing on the gate. So some of that could have been fixed since I was there. By the way, his pictures,
Yeah.
you know. But it was, unsafe for human occupancy when I was there. Complaints, there was three fires there. The fire department was there 3 times for electrical fires.
3 times.
Yeah, I believe one of them had to do with, CO2, from a device that they called the fire department, and they found a small electrical fire that they put out at that time. That was the first time. There was another one that, something they had to do with the air conditioning. out by the time the fire department got there. And the last one had to do with the electrical in the back.
The electrical in the bathroom that I do know about, there was no fire. I mean, even the electrician that was out there said the wires weren't even damaged. It was, I'm not saying there wasn't any smoke, but these people and the CO2 clearly was not from the furnace, as that proved that there's zero CO2 emissions from that.
They have, your chamber, what they call that,
Yeah, he did. That's on there. He showed, 0 ppm of CO2. You should have, you'll have that too. So he said furnace checkup, furnace starts up. So
kind of did things a little out of order here and there, but, what's the PCI Construction Board of Appeals report? That was what,
Okay, that's what Tony was reading off of.
okay, all right. Then I see we had the code enforcer, I already had Deb go.
Well, is it possible for him to make these improvements, say in 60, 90 days and get a reinspection?
I'm sure it is, I mean. All him to do.
I'm not saying, I'm just wondering what's our best solution here?
Here is the home. How old is that?
I'm not sure off the top. I can't say off the top of my head.
Tried to get an assessed value on it. Cost of repairing a home exceeds 50% of the value.
Right. Looking at the pictures, it looked like it should be condemned.
Well, if you can look through, see the ground, I mean, it's not very good shape. If you can look through the floor and see the bottom.
Can you show me those photos? 'Cause I mean, I have my videos of me stomping on the floor. I'm 260 pounds, 250 maybe, you know?
Like them up on the screen so you can all see them.
Sure.
I'd welcome you guys to come take a walk through it.
I don't think it's so much us as Mike and Deb have to be,
I'm saying the way it is right now.
that, I mean, you're the one that has to put the money into it.
No, I'm saying.
So is it worth fixing or is it?
There, it is as solid as could be. I mean, I'm not a small guy. Huh? Oh, yes, oh, yes,
The-
no, no.
the
it's
roof,
aesthetic.
the siding,
There's 0 leaks. 0 leaks. It does not leak. It has not leaked. Before April.
We have maybe too many cooks in the kitchen already, but, and that's not to add one more, but one thing I would like to say is,
You can see through the water heater room right there in the floor. It might be hard to see.
Well, that's gonna be where you got the water lines coming through though, right?
Yeah, there's a hole in the floor right there where you can see straight.
It's too big of a hole for the wa, yes, correct.
Yes,
But-
correct.
Yes. It's not deteriorating.
Which
It's-
was, residing there, said they had a rodent problem.
Well, the,
Getting in, I mean, no brush all on the front door.
yeah, you definitely gotta get,
yep.
It definitely looks very bad.
Was, the water was so saturated along the back there from the tub draining directly to the ground that you couldn't even walk up by the mobile home. I told the person walking, I said, maybe, you know, hold the lawn, he said, I can. Lawnmower up, and he said, I've tried putting them trenches, water to drain out of there, that's been going on for a while.
Right.
Just out there.
this time of year, that photo right there, I don't know if you've been underneath it, Tony, at all, but with the insulation hanging down and all that stuff with winter, I mean, you're gonna get condensation, you're gonna get your heat run at the other end, which I understand your theory, and that's true. It does happen without dampers and things like that, but they'll be a lot warmer if they're all encased and sealed up and
Insulated.
insulated and but it's pretty bad.
Yeah, it's very bad.
My concern was that it was rotting out from the underside and that it was all old under there. I mean, I've been in construction my whole life and I've seen stuff
Yeah.
worse than that and I've seen stuff better than that, but in my own mind, I know what happens when you have that kind of moisture on the ground from that.
In time, I'm not denying that, but clearly it's not deteriorating. I stomped on all the floors throughout the entire house and as solid as could be. And at some point, it's not gonna deteriorate, but it's not deteriorating.
Video did nothing for me. There was so much crap in there, you couldn't stop the whole floor.
Well, these pictures here, obviously, it looks like it should be condemned.
I mean, I go back to the theory when I lived there.
And that part of the heating duct laying out there on the ground.
If I may, please. So one of the problems we run into, and this, we've had similar situations before, is typically when you have a renter that moves out, the place is vacant, you have an opportunity to go in and make it like you would want it to be before somebody else moves in, except when somebody moves in without you knowing and then doesn't let you in to do those repairs. Part of the problem too is even if they did let us in, that place was so full of stuff. I mean, there's so many things you probably couldn't adequately do because it was so.
Without you knowing.
So I was giving them, I was going through the, oh, sorry. I was going through the process with them and said this would be the house when we're done. I was gone for a weekend. They moved in and changed the locks.
So then you run into this problem of, yeah, sure, a lot of that stuff should have been fixed, but we can't fix this, that they won't let us in. We've had the cops out there that says, hey, we need to get in. They said, well, we can't, they live here, right? This is a civil matter. And so this is kind of what you end up with. What we've seen in the very short period of time since they've left is some of the conditions have improved with really very little effort. I mean, no matter who you believe, Tony says, I didn't do any work. They say we did whatever, but we haven't actually gone in and made a meaningful attempt at addressing some of these things that obviously do need to be fixed. Now we have an opportunity to do that. It's vacant and we can start working on it, and putting it in a position where it won't be condemnable. And I don't know, Deb, can you help me out? Would it have to be re-inspected prior? So it'd have to be re-inspected anyway. It just seems to me like that is something that maybe makes sense for everybody. It gives us a legitimate fair shake to go in and try to make this place so it is.
Yours.
And whatever he showed you, that's not the only one. I mean, we've gone through, and I say I'm not there swinging a hammer, but you know, we've gone through and redone many after kind of bad apple tenants have gone out and put them in good condition. There's no reason to believe we wouldn't do the same here. So it's obviously the decision is yours. To me, that's what makes some sense. I mean, I don't expect you guys to rubber stamp it and say, yeah, it looks good, everything's fine. I mean, clearly there needs to be repairs. We'd like to make them.
I would think if he's willing to spend the money and you guys are willing to relook at after he spends his money, I guess you're gonna be the one that's out if you spend a bunch of money and. doesn't
We
look
need
like
to-
what your pictures.
Put a time limit on it.
Yeah, time limit and the verification. And I feel the same as Aaron. I mean, to me, looking at those pictures, I'd had that thing yanked out of there yesterday. But if you want to dump the money into it and you can make it look livable, that you would live in it, or you would live in it, I'd live in it, I mean, you got some work to do. And, but we want verification.
Work has to be done by a licensed contractor,
That's
not their
correct.
maintenance men.
Right.
I mean, I just did 4 runners.
Yeah. And that underside,
All the outlets in there, none of them were grounded.
Okay, that's not fair to say that.
Well, it's true.
That's not fair. There was one house, a couple of
That was
them.
one. I can go on about.
The rest of the house is everything passed.
They did, because we did life safety. If we would have been doing more life safety. That would have up on the lot.
so.
So I'm just saying, you need to address.
Well,
that.
the plumber, we had an already electrician in there that did everything. We had a plumber and.
Came and looked at the one little area.
No, the electrician did the entire thing. You could, he actually went through the entire house. He did you could see that. He did
At this point, it doesn't really matter. I think if you're gonna put the money into it and make it right, and that they can inspect it and make sure it's right. You know, I mean, my vote was to condemn it earlier, but listening to you, you seem like you care. I hope you care with the rest of the place and get on people and cause that's the thing, you open a can of worms and people start looking. And I looked and I thought, wow, I wouldn't be proud of this at all. But you've got some legal teeth. Yeah, I think you need to use it. I hope you have a good contracts and that, you know, we never see you again and that this stuff gets taken care of and so do all the other ones down the line that Mike's talking about and Deb's, I don't know if you've been in any of the others or this is, yeah, I mean, I don't want to get off this subject, but it does, it just opens up a can of worms. And so if you do everything you say you're gonna do and do it right, then we can start believing, you know, you're setting a precedence that you are, you know, good for your word. And good for those pictures. So.
So 90 days? 90 days?
Yeah, it should be.
Was gonna ask.
Actually, the legal precedent is more like 60 days. He's had a lot of time and, oh, I mean, it's up to you, letting you know.
We can build a new house in 105 to 120 days.
I'm only asking for 9 just because of the holidays. I don't know if I can get guys out there for, you know.
You will not be renting it at all
Oh, no.
until this is approved to be rented.
Absolutely.
I would say 90 days, cause if he's pushing to do.
You got a lot of work to do.
Yeah. All right, so 90 days.
Then you get your inspection, they go out and look at it. And if you guys approve of what he did,
So I just need to clarify for my records, sir, are we talking 90 days from today? And are we talking 90 days the inspection?
it
By
take
the
place
end
at
of
the
by
end of the 90 days.
Oh, 90 days to get everything done plus the inspection.
So, well.
Well, the inspection would happen after, we're giving
yeah,
him 90 days from
We'll give him
today.
91. The day after, you should be able to be there. He's got 90 days.
For 91 days from today.
Yeah.
That should be enough notice for everybody, right?
See what
Yeah.
Yeah.
That gives you guys a time frame deadline to meet.
Sure.
And if you guys don't make them happy, then I guess you guys know the outcome.
Her question is a good one. Sometimes what happens is you get busy making these repairs and then, oh shoot, you're at the end of your deadline period. And now you have to schedule an inspection and everybody's busy. But now we've got plenty of notice. We shouldn't have an issue getting a date set.
Yeah, go, I would recommend, it's up to Tony, but I would recommend to call PCI, call Mike, and 91 days from today. Not 92 or what.
Everybody good? Get back to my.
Yep.
I make a motion, we give them 90 days to bring the house up to code or your approval. No more. 91 days for inspection, whatever.
Second.
I second.
All right, those in favor say aye. Aye. Motion approves. All right, make a motion for adjournment.
Make a motion for adjournment.
Don't let us down.
I'll second it.
Thanks, guys.
Aye, motion approved. All right, adjourned.
A little rough there, but got through it.
There's a lot of work to do.
Them double wide base.